Hello, welcome back. It's Greg Leach, Art of Cycling. But again, we're not working on cycling. So I wanted to start another in my continuing series of paintings inspired by paintings from art history. So I had a very unusual, scary, important, life-saving, etc. event the other day, middle of the night, driving home, having been taking care of my mother in the emergency room, when I came upon a guy who had passed out, or initially thought might be dead. On the side of the road, and called the paramedics, and apparently he had OD'd. So they did the Narcanon and breathed for him, and actually I think we'll do that part. Literally brought him back to life. He had a dog with him that was very, very happy that I stopped and ran to me and made sure I would come and help take care of his person. So he also ran from paramedic to paramedic as they worked on him, and even when the police showed up, jumped up on the policeman all the time, making sure everybody was helping his person, which was incredibly dear. So I wanted to make a painting based on this event. It has stayed in my head, of course. It was frightening. And I was reminded, this actually goes back to a whole exhibition thing, of Rembrandt's surgery pieces. Actually, here we're going to do this. The one I'm sort of using up here is a autopsy lesson, or a anatomy lesson. I think that's the name of it. But so I wanted to show these guys all working around this guy. They were the ones who saved his life. Obviously, they wouldn't have known he was there. Fortunately, there's a fire department quite close to where this event happened, so they were there very quickly. Sorry, trying to think this thing through and talk is always difficult. That's why I frequently will do the voiceover method, but I kind of wanted to get this going. So it was 4 paramedics and firemen that responded and jumped right on getting this guy squared away. I was very impressed, and of course, the question came up, what did you take? For relatively obvious reasons he didn't want to reveal. And I did learn that if you respond to Narconon, or whatever the name of the drug that takes narcotics out of your system, it only works, understandably, if you have narcotics in your system. When I went back to the emergency room to take my mother out of the hospital, I confirmed that in fact was true. May have ended up with a slightly small piece of paper here. So I got to work on scale. I tend to do much larger artwork, as you all have seen. But I made my lateral cut off the roll of paper too small, so then I had to, so it was too long and narrow of a rectangle for my taste. So I'm ending up with a slightly different dimension. Than I would have preferred, but you know, it is what it is. So that's the general layout. I don't know how much you can read, but we have the central figure. I would like to get his dog in here as well. That was really the reason I stopped, because it wasn't just a guy passed out. You know, it was 3 in the morning on a, I don't remember now what night of the week it was. Probably a Thursday night, but you know, guy drank too much, passed out on the way home, but with the dog with him, it kind of made me go, wait a minute, that isn't right. And then it was just so darling how excited the dog was. So I think we'll get the dog in here. And did I say that the dog, oh, I do that. Here, let's have the dog looking at us. Dog's name was Lucy, by the way. And because I had to go back, I found out that they dispersed quite quickly. The police didn't particularly care about his substance concerns. Yeah, they were not. And I was so worried about the dog being, and the police officer told me that you know, if they took him to the hospital or whatever, or arrested him, although I thought there was little chance of that happening, the dog would go to the shelter. I really didn't want that to happen for this poor dog. Because he was what inspired me to stop, because it was like, well, something happened while he was walking his dog. He, you know, wasn't on his way home from the bar or whatever. I don't know what that line is. Oh, it's his hand coming back. Okay. So that's sort of the general layout. I'm going to move forward on this. And as the helicopter, no, excuse me, small plane flies over, I think we'll so, and again, all of these paintings are inspired by or reference. They are not, I am not trying to copy master paintings by any stretch, or just simply put a veneer of contemporary clothing style, whatever, over the originals. You know, that's just not my interest. But but instead using these paintings as a starting point to bring about an exciting new contemporary painting. Okay. I think we got something here. Let's find out how it goes. So I thought I'd switch now and show you, helps literally speed up the pace of this painting. So you can see I'm starting to lay in the figures, get things organized. In the Rembrandt, the cadaver is quite blue. I thought, well, not a bad idea for him. Laying in poor Lucy and getting the other figures in. So, of course, that hand has changed from the original sketch. And that's the thing, you'll see things that move. I changed my mind. And, in fact, that forearm is going to get changed later. So, and then trying to figure out exactly how this apparatus works, the breathing. You know, this image I'm working from memory. So that's part of the thing. Now, all of this is oil sticks. It's all on the paper. And I'll give you a chance. Yeah, this painting should get completed by quite shortly. And so I do want to remind you all, of course, to subscribe so you can see this painting as it comes to fruition. There are plenty more rolling around in my head. So hopefully you're enjoying this. Just laying in all the blue. And so this painting you can see, and I thought about, like in the previous painting, using the blue of the hair, but this case the blue of the t-shirts. And then realized, well, I need to balance that color. So changing their greenish yellow pants to, the fireman's pants to the yellowish orange. So just laying that in. Sorry, that was out of camera there. Some of the grass behind. Sorry, and then here, pull back out, realize it should be no P, so it's the Richmond Fire Department, because that's where this scene takes place. So, we're coming up here on the end of this work. There's lovely Lucy. So thank you all so much for watching. If you have any questions that I can answer in the upcoming video, please let me know. We can learn what I'm doing together. There is one thing I realize that I need to change, because it is not the way they do things when they show up. Can you spot it? Leave a comment if you know what's wrong with the paramedics and their hands. I'll give you that hint. So thank you all so much for watching. I truly appreciate it. Be sure to give a thumbs up, leave a comment, let me know what you think, or again, ask any questions. Thank you all. I do appreciate it.